The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. Well, Bob, another election in the books.
Yep. It's no runoff. Congratulations to Sheriff Chuck Mosley. It's hard to win a three-man race without a runoff, but he did it. Took 62% of the vote last night. So low turnout. A lot of people voted yesterday. Yes.
Did we ever get the total amount who voted?
I'm sure it's on that sheet, but I didn't look at it.
Okay. It's low. All the counties around us are reporting low turnouts.
It was a real low turnout yesterday.
Yeah.
Not anybody. I went into Cracker Williams. I was the only one in there. And they had all these voting booths. I said, "Where's the crowd?" They said, "You're the crowd."
You're the crowd. Yeah, that's basically the way it was. Now, when I didn't vote till about a little after 4 yesterday, probably about 4:15, 4:20 after I dropped off one of my grandsons to swim practice. And there was maybe 3 people there. And as usual, there were a lot more voting booths than there were people. Let's just put it that way. But a couple of the folks there were kidding around with me before I went inside. There's a couple of friends outside and so forth, and said, "Hey, Butch, you running for anything? Maybe we could do a write-in for you," and stuff like that. And I said, "Hey, no way I would run for anything." He said, "Wouldn't they be great if you ran for office and got elected, and then you could have Bob question you about what's going on and whatever board you're on?" He said, "Wouldn't that be fun radio that Bob is questioning his boss about decisions made on a certain board? That would be great." I mean, they were just giving me a hard time about it. It's not how great entertainment that would be. You giving me a hard time about some of my decisions, like other people that you talk to.
I did hear several reports, people yelling, screaming, "Where's the sheriffs on this ballot?" I said, "You got the wrong ballot." So I said, I don't know if people just weren't educated, but I said I tried to stress that over and over on my local news. If you wanted to vote in that sheriff's race or DA's race, you had to have a Republican ballot because that's where all the candidates were. But I heard from several people who brought boxes down there to the courthouse that's what's the common thing.
That was a big question where I was at. There would be you'd have people come over and say, "Why are the sheriffs?" You've got 2 primaries going on the same day. You got the Republican primary, you got the Democratic primary. For cost savings purposes, and it may be a state law, I'm not sure, but you have them both on the same day. So if you're a Democrat and you want to vote on the Democratic ballot, you vote for the Democratic candidates. If you're a Republican and you voted for the Republican candidates, if the Democratic Party wanted a sheriff candidate, they would have put somebody up for that, and they would be up for election in the general election. But just talking to different people around there, it's amazing how people just don't know their civics. It's 2 primaries. It's Republican, and on the Republican ballot, there were a lot of questions concerning Republican issues.
Right? There's like 10 or 12 of those, right?
And that'd be the same thing on the Democratic side. So you've got the Republicans voting in their primary. You've got the Democrats voting in their primary. They just have to be held on the same day in the same locations. Now, come the general election, which is required by state law. In the general election, you can vote any way you want. You can click a Republican here, Democratic there, Independent there, write-in there, whatever you want to do. Vote on all the amendments.
And the one example in Wayne County where that took place is the race will be decided in November in the county commissioner's seat that Jamie Hickox opted not to run in District 5. Right. Randy Franks was the Republican. Excuse me. Randy Franks was the Republican candidate. He won last night. And Princess Dow was the Democratic candidate. She won last night. They'll square off in November to decide who takes that seat on the county commission board. So, but like I said, there's just a lot of confusion. A lot of people didn't understand.
I don't understand the confusion. Well, it's the same thing every 2 years. Every 2 years, you vote the same way. Republicans vote, Democrats vote. They just happen to do it on the same day.
That's why I stressed every day, if you want to vote in those races, those 3 candidates were on that Republican ballot. If you had a Democratic ballot, you were not voting. And like I said, that's still what blew my mind when I talked about it yesterday. I don't understand why, if you lived in Wayne County, you wouldn't want to vote in the sheriff's race. If you want to vote in the sheriff's race, you had to have that Republican ballot.
You just asked for the Republican ballot.
Right, that's what you had to have.
Yeah, you just asked for the Republican ballot and vote in the sheriff's race. Because really, what was there to vote? Was there any opposition between the Democrat on the Democratic ballot? Did anybody have any opposition at all?
I don't believe there's anybody.
So if you got a Democratic ballot, all you do is just check. Just like on the Republican ballot, there was a lot of candidates there that didn't have any opposition. and the judges, the Superior Court judgeships, are they nonpartisan? If they're nonpartisan,
they're on. I'm not sure.
They were on the Republican, but I'm not sure if
they were all. They all ran unopposed, though.
Yeah, they were all unopposed. So I don't know if that's partisan.
They were all on there.
Tell you.
I was asking Drew Davis, what do you have to? What's the qualifications to be a Superior Court judge? You have to have a qualification.
You have to be a lawyer.
I guess I just don't, because I said none of them have opposition, so I imagine the qualifications are kind of hard to become a judge.
I don't know. It's we've seen that through the years.
As we've mentioned, we've got some great judges in this circuit.
We got great judges, and it's just folks just.
I was glad to vote for all of them that was on the ballot. So,
so
they
all the Superior Court judges
job.
will be going back in, but that's just the thing about it is in this time of year, it's the primaries. The Republicans vote, the Democrats vote. They just happen to do it on the same day. Now, when it gets the general election, you can vote for anybody. Republican, Democrat, Independent, write-in, whatever. All the amendments.
I want to give a couple shout outs. I heard it was Jimbo Boykin's birthday today. I want to give happy birthday to mate, Mr. Clutch, when he was on the baseball team.
Mr. Clutch, huh?
It's amazing. I know I'm old. I called all his games, called all Luke's games, all of Griffin's games, and now I'm calling Mac's games. And I also want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Gina Arati. Her mother passed away. Frances Rigdon passed away on Monday at the age of 84. Everybody knew her as Granny Franny, just a great lady, but just want to let Gina know we're thinking about her and her family. Again, the visitation is tomorrow from 5 to 7 at Reinhardt and Sons Funeral Home. The funeral is set for Friday at 11 at Calvary with Pastor Pete Boyd and Reverend Van Dempsey doing the officiating. So, again, I know she listens every day. Just want to give her a shout-out, let her know our thoughts and prayers with her and her family.
Yeah,
so,
we got that obit yesterday. It was such sad news.
Yeah, just a great lady.
Yeah.
But I know she's out there listening, so I just want to let her know I'm thinking about her. So, but, yeah, it was an interesting election, I mean, all the candidates down there waiting for the results. Didn't take too long. I think they got them in around 9 o'clock, I think, is when
around now
they got it.
And Keith Higgins won district-wide when it came to district attorney, so he'll continue on another 4 years as district attorney. And John B. won his home county, Wayne County, but that was the only one.
Yeah, it was a close race in Wayne County, but I understand several of the counties were close, but Keith Higgins won the circuit. He won 4 of the 5 counties in that race, and again, he'll serve another 4 years as district attorney.
Okay.
Got to check. So, we had the state court judge on there. I haven't seen the results of that. I think he did win Andrew Pinson and John Barrow race, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
I got to check on that. So, but like I said, as you mentioned, there were just a lot of candidates on the ballot. There's uncontested, a lot of uncontested races here. And like I said, Gary Brown ran unopposed. Francis Yergin ran unopposed. State Court Judge Vi Bennett ran unopposed. The probate judge candidate ran unopposed. Tax Commissioner candidate unopposed. So a lot of people won their race with no opposition. So congrats to all the people who ran and won. And I said, it's hard to get out and campaign. So hats off to all those who put their name on the ballot and got there and campaigned. Just
I wouldn't want to
like I was asking Drew, where's the 16,000 people that didn't vote? Where are they at? I keep asking this question, why is nobody voting? I mean, but they say it's nationwide. They say it's not just locally here in Wayne County. They say it's just something. I mean, it's just people just
Pinson, you remember?
Pinson.
Pinson.
Yeah, Andrew Pinson. He ran against John Barrow.
Yeah, John Barrow was a lifetime-long politician.
All right, a lot of people know him, long-time congressman. So
Andrew Pinson. Okay, let's see if it says anything here. And but it'll be interesting to see how that turned out there. Georgia Supreme Court Justice Andrew Pinson, who Governor Kemp had put on the court, and then he had to run for re-election when the time came up because one judge retired a couple of years ago. Andrew Pinson won re-election.
He did win re-election. I thought I saw that on the screen last night, but I wasn't sure. So.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to go to that event yesterday at the CVS. A lot of people there. Again, the GBI has been called in. It's really just a tragic story. It is. Had to interview with the mother. Had a chance to interview a brother and sister. We'll bring you their comments later this week on the local news. But again, there just seems to be more to that story that meets the eye. Like I said, these people have these cameras on their doors.
Mm-hmm. I know. People have cameras on
Well,
doors
that's what
and
they
everywhere
said.
else.
Well, they said they see 4 boys going towards the pit, but only 3 come back from the pit. And I said, that's who they're interviewing, those 3 other boys and their families, to find out exactly what took place. So, like the sheriff said, social media's got a lot of false information out there. So, just be aware of all that. But again, it is a tragic story. I appreciate the mother giving us an interview, and I said to talk to the brother and sister of Noah. Just a tragic story. So, but the GBI has been called in, and hopefully the family will get some answers, and we'll get to the bottom of what exactly took place a week ago today. And it's hard to believe it's been a week already. But I remember when you first talked about that, you had to. They sent you the thing. There was a child missing. And gave the description and all that, and then it was like hours later they called and told us that the body had been found. So, like I said, second grader James E. Bacon, just a tragic story. But again, the sheriff's department's investigating. Yeah, I was just glad the mother said he wanted to be like Jordan, not LeBron James. I was it's going to be better than Jordan. That's right. It's going to be. You can tell he's a smart kid. Yeah. But it is just a tragic story.
You just hate to hear that, And you do have these borrow pits around, which, where construction companies go and they dig up the dirt to put in, through the road right-of-ways and stuff like that. So you have pits all over the place. I've been in them many of them I've stopped through the years.
How deep's the water? Is
it varies from pit to pit. Some of them can be over your head. Some of them are just knee high. It just varies.
I'm just not familiar
because they're out in the woods. You can't see them. They're off the road. There's some big ones behind where they're going to build the agricultural center there for the high school. Back behind that, down that dirt road there a ways. They used a lot of that dirt when they did Joy Williamson roads and then the 4-laning of 341 and all that kind of stuff. And so there's some big pits back. They have them off a ways, and but they're back there and they dig up a bunch of dirt and haul it out because all these dirt beds that you see around for these roads, that dirt's got to come from somewhere, and that's why it is from these pits. Not a pit before they start digging, but when they get through, it's a big hole in the ground. Gotcha. And many of them just stay with water in it. You think that since there's no natural water going in and out, but many of them stay like little mini ponds out there. But it's been a while since I've been around one, but I've been in several of them through the years. But you just got to be careful. And many of them, since they are those pits like that, and some of them are not real old. The bottoms are kind of mushy, and sometimes if you stick your legs down in there, it just like grabs your leg and it's hard to pull out. I would never go into one by myself. I can tell you that, even as an adult, because some of them can be just fine, get a way to cool off, and it's just a way to do that for kids and adults to be able to do that. But most of the time they're on private property, like this one was for no trespassing. The people who dig these don't want anybody on there. That's the reason why I put no trespassing. Some of them are fenced in, some of them are not. And it's just one of those things that, as a kid, you just say, oh, water, let's go have some fun. And you just got to be careful. Our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Noah, and just a tragic situation there. Him out there with some buddies and not coming back.
So the GBI has been called in, so I said we'll continue to follow that story as it develops. So she did say the funeral's been set for June 1st at Unity Church of God at 2 p.m. So they do have some arrangements, so we'll get the full obituary. I'm sure we'll have that on the radio as well.
Okay, and they'll have the autopsy done by then, and for the funeral on the June 1st. Thoughts and prayers go out there. You can just hear it in the mom's voice and you see the crowd around there. You want justice. That's what you want. You want the truth. You want to know what happened, and so you bring in the GBI, bring in their experts, and let them investigate and see what the situation may be. Just be careful, around these borrow pits. Yeah, they're fun out there. A lot of people like them during the summertime when it gets hot and you don't have a pool or a river or stream to get into. But always be very careful with them because they were not dug out for people to swim in. So got to be careful with them. All right, got that going on. Golf is over with for Wayne County High School now?
Yeah, just not a good showing up there. It was tough. They said it was a very difficult course, but they were hoping to do a little bit better. But 10th place finish for the girls, 11th place finish for the boys. The banquet's been set for the country club, so it'll be fun. But good group of guys and girls. So Scott Brown does a good job of that team. So I'm sure it was a long trip back, but hopefully they're back home safe and sound in God's country. So congrats on a nice season. Another region title. That's the 4th year in a row that the boys have won the region in golf. So
okay,
a lot of talented golfers out there.
Wayne County's got their cord ceremony at 6 tonight. Is that correct?
The court ceremony was Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. Is there anything tonight?
That's
Wednesday.
Nothing tonight. Tomorrow's
tonight. Okay.
Tomorrow's honors night at 7.
Honors night where they give out all the money.
Right, and Friday's graduation.
Okay.
At 7:30. The honors night is at 7 tomorrow night.
7 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Honors night. Of course, that's invitation only because they can only send so many people in there for the family to be with their seniors getting the scholarships.
Yeah, but the courting ceremony was last night.
Okay.
At the auditorium.
All right. And graduation 7:30 at JC Stadium on Friday. If you cannot make it, we'll have the audio for you right here on 105.5 FM. We'll live stream it down our website, bigdogcountry.com. Just live stream, and we'll live stream it down our YouTube channel. If you can't be there.
It happened. Got beat yesterday 3-zip in that third and decisive game at Statesboro. Just couldn't get anything going. Made a couple errors and cost them a couple runs. And like the coach said, that's baseball. You make a few mistakes, and next thing you know, you're on a losing
end. Can't make
end.
mistakes when you're in those big games like that.
It's tough.
Okay, yeah, when you play that top competition. Got to play just about perfect.
North Cobb wins back-to-back state titles in AA baseball.
Back-to-back. Wow.
Yeah. Not as nice run as Loganville. They've won 3 in a row and 8 out of the last 10.
Well, man, they got a program there at Loganville, don't they? Who did we play
I don't know how they
for the state championship in 2017, 18, whenever that was?
Loganville.
Loganville, that's what I thought.
They played Loganville.
Okay. All right, Bob, anything else on your mind this morning here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show?
We had more in the city meeting. Like I said, it was at the meeting for the first 40 minutes of that meeting. Like I said, it began with Tim Caulfield apologizing and the city passing a civility. Apparently, all these boards are asked to pass civility ordinances where they're got to be nice and civil.
They got to be nice and civil to each other. Oh, that's going to be interesting how well that's followed.
I can't wait to see how long that lasts.
Inquiring minds want to know. All right, Bob, have a good day. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup is brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates.